And see a lot of you are traveling, so I'll bring up a local comedian that's going to teach you some Dutch words maybe. Let's see what's going to come out of his mouth. What's going to happen? I don't know. We're going to find out together. Alright guys, are we ready to keep the show going? Alright, give it up for the one, the only, the amazing Socrates!
You guys listen so good. My name is Socrates. I am an American. Thanks, appreciate that. Trying to listen. All right, here we go. This will be a fun night. Are you having fun so far?
Yeah.
All right, so tonight's talk is about live a little. Because eventually you're going to die a lot. And I think I have the pleasure of being the old person in the room. I'm 57. Which is 75 in Dutch. And it feels even worse. It's like the hand of God reaching down and fucking with me. It's been my year. Last year, after the coronavirus ended, remember that? We got to go outside again and see people and get infected at the end. And I had a bike accident, which is a very Dutch thing to do. I was taught a Dutch word, which was aangereden. Because unfortunately I got ran into, which is what that word means, I got ran into by a klootzak on a scooter. So basically I got hit and broke my arm. So as we came out of lockdown, I got to go to the hospital, the house of paracetamol. And they gave me great words of wisdom when they first looked at me. Because they didn't actually do anything. They gave me this blue strap and told me it comes good. And they also gave me a shot of morphine, which was great. I don't know if you've had a shot of morphine. Anybody had a shot? You've had morphine? Anybody else back there? Were you hurt or just?
Yeah,
you both hurt? That's good. You're supposed to be hurt. I think it balances. I haven't had it without, although I am willing. If you know somebody, no? What'd you do?
I had surgery.
Surgery, and you?
Surgery.
Also surgeries. Anyone break a bone? One bone with the same two people? Clumsy sons of bitches. A little club we got going here. Anyone else have operations? Again, just a one, just a few more in the back there. What'd you have? Little things?
Appendix.
Ah, that hardly even counts. I've had 7 operations. Woohoo! Yeah! And about 2 weeks ago, I had a stroke. Yeah. Don't listen to the Romanian guy. Here's a life tip. When you're following a Romanian guy, you've made a mistake. Doesn't matter where he's leading, go a different direction. That's all. Don't go to Transylvania. If he offers to suck your dick, that's a dice roll, you know, it's really up to you. So yeah, life will throw all sorts of cool things. You know, you think a day starts off like any other day, and it does. They all start the same, you know. You know, like people tell you, like, you know, live my life better, you know. How? I mean, unless you're a horrible person. I get it, if you're like really shit, you can change, you know. You can take all sorts of changes. You could like stop lying, stop stealing. Stop getting your dick sucked by random Romanian guys. There's an option, you know, but I don't do those various things. Still. Appreciate the offer, though. But like for me, you know, my Monday started off like a lot of Mondays, you know. I woke up, got out of bed. I dragged a comb across my head. Nobody knows the Beatles song. If you ever listen to the Beatles, you'd be like, hey, wait a minute, that guy stole that shit. And I was sick on Sunday, so it's like I woke up on Sunday and like, you know, thought I was gonna vomit. So I spent the day like shitting. It was a great day. One of those thrilling things about being alive, you're like, okay, I think I'll spend the day shitting, because apparently I ate bad food. I'd admit that it was pork, but you'd be too happy to hear that. Y'all Clintons, see, I told you not to eat that pork. The Muslims will be like, I told him to. Jews would agree. Everybody would gang up on me. So it wasn't pork, it was tofu. And I was shitting a storm up, and basically I went to bed early, woke up on Monday and figured, well, this is what it's like to be alive, and I should live a little. So if you've ever gone, we've all gone through this, you've all eaten bad food. Everybody, nobody's eaten bad food. Occasionally you'll eat some bad food, and it's going to go through you like a storm. It's going to be a thrilling couple moments or hours or days, and eventually it'll stop. It's like everything in life. All those horrible things eventually stop. Some of them last longer than others. This one lasts 8 minutes. There you go, you know what I meant. But so basically the next day I figured, might as well keep living a little, get the stomach back together. How bad could it be? Had a few bananas, approval on your part, and some yogurt. I was so close. And I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, took a little nap. Well, before the nap, I thought, I'm feeling better. Maybe I'll have a little stroke. Not that kind, the first kind, the good kind, the fun kind, the kind that you give a reward for being alive. Because let's face it, life only has a few things that are worthwhile. One of them is orgasm. If you don't know, you gotta Google orgasm and buy that machine, whatever the hell it was. That's the one.
Yeah.
And so then I got a little sleepy, as one does. Took an hour nap, woke up, couldn't walk, had a stroke. The bad kind, the other kind, the kind that you don't want to have, which really, really sucked because I did not have any form of satisfier. And it was a weird sort of a situation to have a stroke. I didn't think I'd had a stroke because according to Google, I didn't have a stroke. I never got finished. I didn't have that kind of stroke, I just had a bad leg stroke. But I already have a bad leg because I did a fucking surgery to my knee. Fucked up my knee. They also had my arm didn't work too well, but they fucked this up too. If you ever wanted to know what the Dutch medical system looks like, this is it. And also, weird thing is, they took me to the hospital right away. When I broke my arm, I got smashed into by a car and by a scooter, and I called for an ambulance, and they told me to take a taxi. If it wasn't passing out, I should take a taxi. I told them I was going to pass out. They sent me a taxi. When I said I had a stroke, they were like, we'll send you an ambulance. And which is nice, at least, at the very least, to tell you how serious it is. I get to the hospital, they put me in that CT machine, and the whole night was strokey, because at one point the machine just fucking me back and forth and back and forth. And I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? This is like God trying to tell me something, but I wasn't listening. I don't know if you know it or not, but the truth of the matter is they say God has some sort of plan, because God knows everything, because God made everything, because God has a plan for everything. I don't like God's plan. I think it's a shit plan, personally. I'm not sure how religious you all are, but I looked into it. Apparently, God's plan involves, do you know how many babies die in the first month of life a year? 2.7 million. It's a lot of dead fucking evil babies, right? Clearly he's killing the evil ones, right? That's the whole point. Wouldn't it be? It's got to be part of his plan. Hitler snuck through somehow. But my point is, I don't get the idea of God and his infinite plan. So if nothing else, and by the way, if you're wondering, what does a stroke feel like? See this guy right here? If this was a blood squirt, that's what it's like to have a stroke. Trust me, I'm telling you. Anyway, so I got a light a little while ago, but I'm trying to live a little. This was my TED Talk, so I don't know, hug somebody if you can, because, tomorrow's going to come one way or the other. Life is quick, life ends. Things come, things go. Sets begin, sets end. Give it up for that team. My name is Scott. He's still alive.
Woo! All right. Thank you for listening to the old man's TED Talk.
Yeah.